Yeah, I was like, take that down. My roots are way longer. Just kidding. How are you? It is early, my dudes. I slept for 1 hour last night, so this could go either way. But at the very least, I hope this gives you permission, helps you give yourself permission to try something that could go horribly wrong today. Just kidding. But except that's a good thing to give yourself permission to do. All right. So I'm just gonna start with a song. Hopefully this will stay. Yeah. About a comic book artist working at Office Max, based on a real guy. My brother was working at an Office Max, and he brought home this laminated picture of Batman one day, and I just pictured this artist in this center of office supplies, which are basically art supplies, but marketed for different purposes. And I was like, this is poetic, and also me in some ways. And I think, how many people here like work in a creative job? How many people are like visual artists? Like musical or like sound artists? Who's just a creative human? Who won't say they're a creative human but secretly is? It's okay, you can keep it to yourself. Yeah. I subscribe to the same belief that everyone is creative. I think to create is to be human. When we create, we're moving into unknown territory, because then we're not just repeating or just copying something else. Let me turn this up a little bit. We'll kind of just feel out this. You guys cool with the piano being down here and the voice up here? This one's called Wake Up Dreaming. He sells office supplies in his name tag until they complete his secret identity. Unknowing citizens shout for ballpoint pens. To them, he's just the guy who rings them up. But he can't shake the feeling that this whole world's asleep. He's full of vision no one else can see. But soon he'll make it real, 'cause he knows how to keep believing. Wake up dreaming. On 15-minute breaks, he fills his sketchbook page with characters sworn to protect the earth. And they save humankind from evil masterminds. There is only hope in a sea of envelopes. And he can't shake the feeling that this whole world's asleep. He's full of vision no one else can see. But soon he'll make it real, 'cause he knows how to keep believing. Wake up dreaming. And he keeps sketching fire escapes and back doors. Knows there's got to be more to his life. 'Cause he can't shake the feeling that this whole world's asleep. He's full of vision no one else can see. But soon he'll make it real, 'cause he knows how to keep believing. Wake up dreaming. Thank you. So, as you may have guessed, I'm not a person who has the luxury of pretense very often anyway, when speaking. So the place that I learned to communicate first as a person was through music, and I'll explain a little bit about that. I grew up in a very religious framework in a house of 7 kids, and there were so many great aspects to it, and there wasn't a lot of time to like really figure out for any of us like who we were as individual people. But my parents were really great about encouraging us to, like, if they saw a spark of a talent or something we were interested in, they would just give us total access to do that, even instead of chores sometimes, which I think was pretty cool. My mom really values wonder. I think that's where I picked it up for myself as a principal later, but I think a lot of times it's framed in a way where it's like very childish or childlike, which is, I think, a great word, but I think it can be sort of minimized as far as like how vital it is for us as humans to have a space of wonder where I think that because the unknown is so terrifying to our like, well, Seth Godin calls it the lizard brain, or, you know, that amygdala like override that's like, survive at all costs. Is anyone familiar with The War of Art? Yeah, I highly recommend that book as well. But, so we're up, when we sit down to make something, we're in this like new territory. And I think one of the most valuable parts of that, and sitting down with that deeply scary feeling of the blankness of it, is the fact that we can have a chance in that space to then reflect and like learn about ourselves as people. And one thing that I realized I was personally up against a few years ago was the culture that we are in, as far as everyone's their own PR. It's never been easier to make things, but there's this intense pressure to like make it look verified or make it look legitimate. And I think I didn't really realize how intense that was as an internal like obstacle to creating until I had tried literally everything to override or to avoid that feeling when sitting down to make something. I actually made a list of things that I tried to fix myself with. Saying yes to everything, ice baths, supplements, meditation, food, and intermittent fasting, or like keto. I was on Reddit a lot, as you can probably tell from some of these. Waking up at 5 a.m. every morning, relationships, like trying to fix who I was so that I could get the relationship right. Marketing courses, taking marketing courses, because I just realized like I'm so unhappy like trying to make music and make a living doing this, and so what I need to do is learn marketing. So I took so many marketing courses. Well, I took about 2/3 of them because I have pretty bad ADD. So that was a red flag for that. But music production courses. Creating content itself. I was trying to fix myself by making more content because I thought that was the thing I needed to do. So I was able to get about 8 weeks of consistent content before it became totally unbearable. And visualization, like all these things that in and of themselves are great tools, but the reason I was using them was totally backwards. And I think the thing that's so crazy about right now is that we live in this time when everything is so accessible. There's so many different options. But a lot of us have a hard time sitting down to do the thing that we keep talking about, or the thing that we keep thinking about, or the thing that we keep saving. And that's where I think wonder comes in. Because where that, all of those horrifying, scary, like monsters under your bed feelings that pop up, they're just thoughts. They can be rooted in really rough experiences and things like that, but they're thoughts. And becoming curious about them when you're in that space is like building a little bridge, I think, into an opportunity to meet yourself. And not just to make the thing so you can get the checklist, because I tried that for probably 5 years. And then finally had tried enough things in a row that I realized, like, oh, this is actually the problem. So I just stopped. I stopped and did not realize what a cliche this was for a while, but I was like sitting under a tree for a while. This big walnut tree in the backyard. And later it was pretty funny, but at the time I was just like, this tree knows. It's being a tree. This is a walnut tree. It's not trying to be a different type of tree. And I actually have no idea who I am as a person. And a lot of this came from my upbringing, the fact that I got married before I could drive a car, because I didn't really come to this planet with a nervous system that was totally like wired to thrive. It was always on running super hot. I always thought everything was a threat. Like when people talk about wonder being something that's like from childhood, I don't know what that means personally, because I was just a mess. And but when I would write music, something would open, and I would get these glimpses into myself. And after doing that enough times in a row, and then getting so far away from it and trying to make it, I realized that it's like leaving me these little breadcrumbs to myself. And the more that I just leaned into that as a practice, the more it opened up. And then the more that I could create. And now I'm kind of in this turning point where I'm now building something from a place that feels real for the first time as a late bloomer. And feeling totally great about that, because I know that the things that are these external pressures are imaginary, but they look so real, and we can point to so many different examples of why certain things work in a certain context for certain people. But I have pretty much decided that the thing I want to do for the rest of my life is just tell people, like, you are a universe. You have so much going on inside of yourself. And just be a reminder of that, because I don't know where we find that space very often, because it's so loud. So I'll go ahead and play another one. And maybe this one I'll do. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't pop too loud. Okay, nice. You know, Omni Chord. This is called an Omni Chord. I also call it my baby unicorn machine. You'll see why. Ooh, it's like on an organ setting. So this sounds like baby unicorns, or like Pegasus babies, like taking a nap in some clouds. So this is a song that I wrote quite a while ago. I would say probably 2011. But this one is about sending little messages out into the world on paper airplanes. And it's about writing songs for... it's about trying to connect when I didn't know how. I had a guy once ask me on a plane like what my music sounded like, and I had no way to tell him. I would just shut down when someone would talk to me. So I started just becoming curious about what that was, and wrote this song called I Know You're Out There. I take my notebook and tear the pages out to write down my thoughts and a message. Oh, I encrypt every line. And as the people pass on the street below, I smooth out and fold all the edges, then hold them up against the sky. And I let them go. Hope you'll find each word I wrote on these pages paper planes scattered in the air. Oh, I send them off 'cause I know you're out there. And I picture you discovering each note all the others step over, 'cause you're the kind that finds the clues. And you know everyone was meant for you, 'cause you've got the secret decoder. Oh, they'll lead you to me soon. So I let him go. Hope you'll find each word I wrote on these paper planes scattered in the air. Oh, I send them off 'cause I know you're out there. Oh, I know you'll see the heart beneath each line you read. So I let him go. Hope you'll find each word I wrote on these paper planes scattered in the air. Oh, I send them off 'cause I know you're out there. Thank you. So when I look back at songs that I've written, really since about that time, that was when I started to become aware that there was like this space inside of myself that was me. And there was all of this other stuff built on it and sort of superimposed onto it. And I think we all get some version of that. I mean, that's the nature of being raised by human beings, I think. But how hard it was to really let myself become curious about that was pretty wild. It's like everything, when we have this like thing that we think is us, which is all of our patterns and our beliefs and our way of being in the world, when we're questioning those, then we have to suspend the belief that we are those things. And suddenly we become the awareness of those things. And who are we? It's terrifying, but it's magical. And I think once I realized that, once I removed the layer by layer of trying to get it right and just trying to be in whatever I was in, because it got gnarly. I was navigating a divorce with my little girl, and we lived in my mom's basement, and I was just dedicated to figuring out what was, well, for a while, what was wrong with me, but what the deal was, because I felt this thing so strongly that I couldn't articulate, and that nothing around me in my environment or in my relationships reinforced. It was just a gut feeling. And so I felt pretty crazy for a while until I consumed and fire hosed my brain with enough information about like neuroplasticity and some, just the basic nature of the brain, which I think we're still really, really early in understanding. But suddenly, like, just kind of getting under the hood of like how things work and paying attention to like my patterns. And then suddenly I just didn't need those outside reinforcements in unhealthy ways. I just was able to make space even around those relationships and become curious about who the people in my life were. And to me, I think that's wonder. And observing patterns is the only way that we can make choices. Otherwise, they're running us. And this, I guess, is a song that I wrote to freak myself out about that, because I just had this thought of like, when things were really at kind of a low point, I just thought if I keep repeating this pattern, like it's gonna stick, and I'm gonna be like stuck here. And this is, I don't think it's ever too late to change or observe our patterns at all. But I could just feel it, that it was like that at this point I would be choosing to opt in consciously, and that just becomes a different thing. So this one's called art, because I just had this feeling that all this mental energy that was going to like being self-destructive or stuck could be used to make things. But either way, I'm opting into something. So this one is called art. Anything's an art if you stick with it long enough. Ooh, even bad habits got this emptiness in my chest when I'm waking up. Ooh, 'cause I practice. I got so many ways to let each moment just slip past. Got so good it's like I'm watching my life through plexiglass. Anything's an art if you stick with it long enough. Anything is art if you look at it long enough. Ooh, even my absence, when it's time I'll hide till it's too late to decide, almost like I planned it. I got so good at justifying hiding, now it's what they expect. Took my life and then I dimmed the lighting, now I'm a silhouette. Anything is art if you look at it long enough. I make it look easy. You'll have to check twice to see if I'm breathing or imitating life. Anything's an art if you stick with it long enough. Thank you. How are you guys doing, by the way? Thumbs up. Okay, awesome. I should say also, I don't know if this is allowed in the format, but if anyone has questions pop up, I'm down to let this be conversational as well, or we can save them to the end. Either way? Okay, we can feel it out. If you have some, if you feel so inspired, just raise your hand on up. All right, so, yeah, I'll put this away for a minute. Yes. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes. And that's actually the thing that I'm working on right now, is teaching myself to record. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm learning. Oh, thanks, Brian. Okay. That makes more sense. Are you teaching yourself to record as well? Me too. High five. That's what we got to do. I've actually started looking into some of the psychology of like producing music, just because I was like, how do people do this besides weed? And because I'm not gonna. That's not my jam. But I did see that failing like is it. There's nothing else. But that's the mental hurdle I've discovered with that, is like sitting down to do it without anticipating the failing, but also welcoming it. It's like no expectation. But yeah, I feel you, man. All right. So one of the things that I became aware of as I started letting myself make the things that I thought would be interesting to make instead of what I thought would work was just sort of more patterns. And this is one of those. This one is called Heart-Shaped Hologram. And I guess this kind of is where I became aware of another obstacle to wonder, which I think of as just being in something versus in the idea of it. And I think one of the obstacles to that is projection. And when we're constantly fixated on what will be happening, or what has happened, or what we need to have happen, other narratives, it's like those are obstacles for us just being in the room or missing information that's happening in real time. And it's just the nature of our brains to protect us from things that could possibly be harmful. But we're in this funny place where that's no longer helpful in a lot of ways. And this is one of those patterns that I became aware of. This one's called heart-shaped hologram. I lie awake when I'm alone, and I picture us. I dance with your mirage. Oh, I keep forgetting you're somewhere else with someone real. You're laughing in their arms while I'm in the dark. I don't know why I keep you in this heart-shaped hologram. Oh, I take you everywhere I am. It almost seems like you're with me, even though a heart-shaped hologram could never love me back or hold my hand. I still don't know how to let you go. I miss the way it used to feel when you'd reach for me. Was that just make-believe? Oh, I keep forgetting. I close my eyes and you appear like you're my favorite dream. This can't be good for me. I don't know why I keep you in this heart-shaped hologram. Oh, I take you everywhere I am. It almost seems like you're with me, even though a heart-shaped hologram could never love me back or hold my hand. I still don't know how to let you go. I say I don't need anybody. I keep you with me like a ghost. But what if I'm just terrified? I might not even know what to do with someone who could love me back for real. And so I keep you in a heart-shaped hologram. I take you everywhere I am. It almost seems like you're with me, even though a heart-shaped hologram could never love me back or hold my hand. I still don't know how to let you go. Thank you. That was one of the first epiphanies I had as far as using creativity for a space of awareness or self-awareness intentionally. Because on that bridge, when I wrote the lyrics, what if I'm just terrified I might not even know what to do with someone who could love me back for real? That was the first time I'd ever had that thought. And it was because music was this place where everything sort of opened. And I was suddenly I wasn't objectifying my reality as much as just expressing it and being able to then observe it. And it just opened up these different dimensions into the experience of creating for me. And it still took quite a bit of time for me to get to the place where I was like, this is why I create, to become curious and to help other people have permission to become curious, because I was still quite a ways away from that point. But around the same time, I started looking a little bit more into meditation and different brainwave states. And is anyone here familiar with flow state? Like, as I know that's like a big yes. It's been buzzy for quite a while, and it's very super helpful. There's a way to approach work that can create a sense of timelessness, and inherent in this process is a period of struggle, and embracing that, and then blocking off time. There's like these different components to creating this sense of timelessness that every person can experience. I don't think we have to experience it making art. I think you can experience it gardening. It's any time that you're using your mind in a way that you're fully present. And it's not the goal to make that your constant state. That was not sustainable. But I started learning about just sort of things around this flow state, because at this time I was still in the magic bullet mode. So I was like, what's the thing that I will find that will make me never feel pain again? But it wasn't at that point yet consciously. But that's what I was doing. I was like, how do I never feel terrible again? And always only make the things that I want so that I can feel great always. And our culture is designed to make us think that way so that people can sell products that can fill those gaps. But we can fill those gaps ourselves by making things. We can feel like we're in our lives by making things. And that's not to say that it's not the cure. It's just part of who we are. It's part of what we are. And I think when we let ourselves go into that territory, that freaky territory of just like not knowing if something will work or what we'll see there, that's how we connect, because then we're not trying to get something. We're just being in it. And that's been something for me the last, I guess, year or two that's just felt like, I don't know that there is anything else besides that. There's a bunch of stuff superimposed on top of it that's very easy to get stuck in or just keep busy with. I don't think it's like some big sinister thing. I think it's just the nature of us also, that duality of being hooked into things, and then also having all of these different apps and products and things and designed to hijack our minds in a way. And the more that I could become aware of that, the more, for a while it was pretty weird, it was pretty like uncomfortable, which I think is also just part of the deal. But there came a point where I just kind of settled into this feeling of, I'm not going to know ahead of time what I'm doing with anything that is me at the edge of myself, pushing into whatever the next thing is for myself. I know what it is like to get stuck for many, many years trying to predict my way out of things, and the predicting can only ever come from a familiar place. And for me, familiarity was not my friend. It was not something that helped me thrive in my particular life. So yeah, this is a song called Stop Motion that was inspired by kind of that intersection of realizing like what we're up against on the one hand, and then also like the hope in that like we can choose for ourselves what we want to be doing with our moments. So this one's called Stop Motion. And wanting to write it in a way that wasn't hopefully too freaky like art, the song Art. Why am I not Thank you. Cool. Is there one more? Did you say? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Paula. I was just going to check how we're doing on time. So yeah, that last little phrase, keep going, is such a, it's a very basic, it's very cliche in a lot of ways, but I think it's key. It's key to experiencing things firsthand instead of being in the idea or the projection of them. It's to just move through and be with whatever is happening. And there's nothing wrong, of course, with aiming for creating something very specific. There's nothing wrong with building a great career. I'm just a person who didn't have that option starting from where I was starting. And I think that I found myself wondering a lot, who's like that? Who's like me in those ways where maybe this person has these things to say that they're not even aware of. And maybe it's just a matter of giving ourselves new reasons to make things. What if we just assign ourselves some new reasons? Because there's so many that exist already as options that are put there by other people for the benefit of other people, and that's fine too. But really, really sitting with, why do I want to make things anyway? What's in this? And that's the thing that I think is cool about it, is I really do believe that answer is going to be different for every single person. I don't think every single person needs to go build a massive following to have their creativity or their self-inquisition or just their self-exploration validated. I think by making room for that in our own lives as part of a daily practice, we almost inoculate ourselves against being swept up in the currents. There's so many currents that we can get caught up in. And it just gives us a moment. I think it's building a buffer to just make a choice instead of being automated or optimized into someone else's stream. Because I think that's being alive. I think that having the freedom to choose how you want to be expressed is being free. And so I just really encourage anyone, if you've got something that you've been thinking about that freaks you out, just try it. Because no matter what, you'll learn something. And I think that learning about ourselves is everything. And you will probably surprise yourself with what you make, no matter what. All right, so would one more song be okay? Are we good? Okay, then that was the last song. If anyone has questions, I know I'm very rambly as a person. Do one more? Okay. Okay, deal. Okay, I'll go ahead and end with this one. This song is called Glorious, and this is sort of my core belief about humans. And I wrote this one at a time when I really needed to remind myself, or just get a peek into what I thought the point was, just of being a human on the earth. And when I was sat down to play it at the keyboard, just this idea that I had, it was just kind of this concept opened up where I just thought we're all just working in this together. We're all facets of the same thing. And when we do get into the space where we can be expressed, I think I would love to see that zoomed out. I would love to see what this looks like zoomed out, as far as everyone living their lives and what a big connected organism it is. Because I really do believe that. And I think it's just that idea has kind of just continued to unfold. So this one is called Glorious. It's so amazing what we're all creating. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious. And as you feel the notes build, oh, you will see. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious. Thank you.
Thanks so much.